August the 23rd, 1914. Mons, Belgium. The first major clash between the British Army and Imperial Germany in the Great War. A thin line of British riflemen, exhausted, heavily outnumbered, and unsure if they'll survive the hour, watch dark shapes advancing through the morning haze. German infantry, thousands of them, advancing in perfect formation, and then silence. Until the British unleash something the Germans never expected. A storm of rifle fire, so fast, so accurate, that entire units believed they'd run straight into machine guns. This is the story of the Mad Minute, the moment the British riflemen rewrote the rules of war and stopped a German army dead in its tracks. Hi, I'm Matt, and this is Battlefield Legends, true accounts of ordinary men in extraordinary moments. To understand what happened at Mons, you need to understand one thing. The British Army didn't just carry rifles, they carried precision instruments of destruction. The Lee-Enfield SMLE Mark III, 10-round magazine, smooth bolt, deadly accurate. But the real weapon wasn't the rifle, it was the men behind it. Professional soldiers, career riflemen, the Kaiser's so-called old Contemptibles. They trained relentlessly to fire a minimum of 15 aim shots in a single minute, the famous Mad Minute. Some men hit 20, some approached 30. This wasn't a gimmick, it was doctrine, and the riflemen themselves spoke about it. Before Mons, these riflemen weren't just a name on a roster. They were some of the most seasoned soldiers in Europe. Many had fought in the Boer War, where long-range marksmanship often meant the difference between living and dying. Others had spent years posted overseas in India, Egypt, South Africa, and the far corners of the empire. These weren't young conscripts or hastily raised volunteers. These were career professionals. They were older, more experienced, and fiercely proud of their skills. They were the Kaiser's old Contemptibles, and they intended to live up to the name. To appreciate what happened at Mons, you also need to understand the engineering brilliance of the Lee-Enfield. Most German infantry carried the Mauser, accurate but slow, with a stiff bolt and a 5-round magazine. The Lee-Enfield had double the ammunition, a butter-smooth bolt, and sights designed for fast, precise shooting. British musketry schools drilled soldiers relentlessly. The aim was simple: make the rifle an extension of the man. The British Expeditionary Force, the BEF, had just arrived in Belgium, barely 80,000 strong, facing a German force nearly 4 times their size. Belgian lines were collapsing, French armies were retreating, and the British found themselves tasked with the impossible: hold the Contemptibles Canal, even for a few hours. The Germans advanced confidently, marching in dense Napoleonic formations. They had no idea what the British rifles could do. On the morning of August the 23rd, the canal banks were eerily quiet. British riflemen could hear distant marching, the rhythmic thump of thousands of boots, German drums, officers shouting orders. The fog lifted and the grey wall appeared. Ranks upon ranks of German infantry. The British held their breath. Then came the order: fire! The world erupted. Instead of slowing, the rifle fire accelerated. bolt clacks, rifle cracks, a thunderous rolling roar. Some British units fired 15,000 rounds in under 10 minutes. To the Germans, it felt impossible. The Germans tried to reorganise, shouting orders over the roar of British fire. But the bridges were choke points, narrow, exposed, deadly. British barrels overheated, German formations dissolved. Every fresh advance was cut down. This wasn't just rapid fire, it was controlled devastation. As devastating as the rifle fire was, there's still a real debate among historians about why the Mad Minute was so effective. Some argue it was the men, the old Contemptibles, professional soldiers drilled to perfection in rapid fire. Others believe it was the rifle, the Lee-Enfield, smooth bolt, 10-round magazine, faster than anything else on the battlefield. And honestly, both arguments make sense. What do you think? Was it the men or the rifle? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear where you stand. Despite their performance, the British couldn't stay forever. The Germans had the numbers, the artillery, the reserves. The BEF had one mission: delay the German advance. And they did. They held the line, inflicted massive losses, then withdrew in perfect discipline. The withdrawal was a masterpiece of discipline. Small groups would halt, fire a staggering volley to slow the Germans, then fall back behind the next group, leapfrogging. Relentless, precise. Some soldiers later said the retreat was more terrifying than the battle itself. Yet, they never broke. The Battle of Mons became the first great legend of World War I. Not because the British won, but because a small, heavily outnumbered force stopped a German army dead. The Mad Minute became a symbol of what disciplined riflemen could achieve. Many of the riflemen who fought at Mons would not survive the war that followed. The trenches, the gas, the barrages. The Mad Minute belonged to a different world, the last world where riflemen could decide a battle. But on that August morning in 1914, along a quiet Belgian canal, a few thousand British soldiers stunned an empire and wrote their names into legend. Hit like and subscribe for more battlefield legends, and when you're ready, watch this next story. It's even more unbelievable. The battlefield never forgets, and neither do we. Until the next battle, thanks for watching.